Hello and welcome to the Watch Kaki channel, where we bring you all the good and honest watch reviews. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel today. Come back here every week because I've got new videos uploaded every week just for you. In today's video, we are going to review this 5KX rose gold version on the review desk. And the reference number for this watch is SRPD 76K1. This one here is the numerous color versions of the new 5KX that was launched in 2019. Now Seiko has labeled this one as the new Seiko 5 Sport series. So previously they had this shield logo, and nowadays Seiko has introduced a new logo. This one here is a departure from the previous one that looks like a shield. Instead, it is still done in the shape of a Superman shield, but only difference being this one here is a scripted S, and I think it looks slightly more elegant than before. So apart from introducing a host of new colorways, they've got like blue, green, I think maroon, red, rose gold version, the one that I'm holding on here. Apart from introducing the new colors, Seiko has also upgraded the movement. Instead of the 7S36 or 7S26, which is non-hacking and non-hand winding, Seiko has now used the 4R36 movements in the new 5KX series. And we all know that the good old 4R36 is a great movement. It is robust, rugged, it requires very little attention, and best of all, it hacks and it hand winds. I think many watch fans will be very pleased with this new development here by Seiko. So the nickname 5KX is also given by fans. Seiko has never officially labeled these watches as 5KX. Now the fans were quick to call these watches the 5KX because hey, this one here looks more or less exactly like the outgoing Seiko SKX model. So whereas the SKX they had 200 meters water resistance, they are ISO rated, they've got screw down crowns. This one here I would say is a bit scaled down in terms of specs, but you do get a better movement in terms of hacking and hand winding. So I've just zoomed in the lens a little bit while I talk about the specs to you on this one. This one here, the case and the overall design is just very similar to the SKX series, and it's got a 42.5 millimeters case size. The overall thickness is 13.5 millimeters from the base of the exhibition case back to the top of the flat Hardlex crystal. Now the crystal here is also pretty interesting. It's got that bit of a facet on the edges. I wouldn't exactly call this a top hat, but you can see over here the edges of the crystal. It's got that really nice facet, and I think this adds a little bit of character when it comes to the odd reflections over here at certain angles. Right? Really neat design here. I like it. Lug width on the 5KX series, they are 22 millimeters as with many Seiko divers, so not a problem to find straps for this watch. The lug to lug is also pretty manageable. This one here comes in at 46 millimeters, so not a problem for men with smaller wrists. Just some more information not found on Seiko's official website. This one here has got a bezel size of 41.5 millimeters, and it's got a crystal size of around 30.5 millimeters. This watch here also has a very nice 7 millimeters crown here. It is non-screw down, but the size here is really good, provides for a very good grip for winding or time setting. And of course, the watch here is powered by the 4R36 movement. It hacks and hand winds, has about 40 or 42 hours power reserve. It's really a workhorse, found in so many micro brands as well. It's a really popular and affordable movement. I also brought the watch to the weighing scale, and this one here comes in at just under 100 grams. I think it's about 97 point something, so I would say it's a pretty decent size and it's got a pretty good weight to it, but not overly heavy. At the time of this video, this watch here goes for Singapore dollars $338 at our boutique, and again I'd like to take the time to thank our boutique and Eric, the guy who runs the store. Eric, thank you very much for kindly loaning me this watch. So next we're gonna talk a little bit on the case design and build quality, and at first glance you know that this is a very familiar looking Seiko design. It is like a remake or an exact remake of the legendary SKX, the outgoing, discontinued, legend of a watch. And whereas the SKX has got like only a few colorways, this one here, the 5KX series, or the nickname 5KX series, they have plenty of colorways going on, many different strap combinations. This one here comes with a rubber strap. I'm going to talk more about the rubber strap later in the video. Other models come with bracelets or mesh bracelets, and I think some even come on NATO straps. So the SKX design has more or less become an iconic design in the world of Seiko or even dive watch collectors. It's got that 4 o'clock crown here, and it is protected by this crown guard that actually flares out from the body, from the case. Alright, so it's not, it doesn't look like a crown guard that is like protruding. It's a crown guard that flows out of the case, and I would say that's pretty elegant. And on the 76 here, it's got brush finish at the top of the lux. Despite the rose gold PVD coating or IP coating, whatever you call it, you can still see the brushing on top of the lux. So I'm just going to wipe off all these fingerprints here for you to see that it's indeed got a really nice brush finish. Alright, and they've left the sides of the case to be high polished. Okay, so really nice curves here on the case, and you can see the case side, from the case side here, it's got that sloping inwards or curved inwards, very very similar to the Turtle series I've reviewed before. And all this leads to the watch being very wearable. The case sort of disappears on your wrist. So here's a reenacted wrist shot to show you that the watch does indeed disappear when you're wearing it because of this really nice curve inwards on the case. So other special features include this grenade-like texturing on the sides of the bezel. So over here, I believe the SKX also has the same type of finish on the sides of the bezel, and this translates to a very good grip on the bezel here. It's a 120 click bezel. I would call this the soft click. Alright, so over here I don't think there is very much of the misalignment here. Everything lines up pretty nicely. And of course, this is just a good old aluminum bezel insert, and there is no lume pip on this one here. Alright, so this is not a true diver, it's not an ISO rated diver, but rather it's a dive style kind of watch. And a final note on the case design, this one here has got drilled lugs, so changing straps on this one, not a problem at all. So we're going to move on to the dial design here. So it's got a really simple and clean dial layout. You don't see many extra text, such as water resistance to 1000 meters, divers rated, or got no logo, Prospex logos here and there. What we've got here is a really nice applied Seiko logo, as is the Seiko 5 logo here. They're all applied, really nicely done. And at the 6 o'clock area, you've got this scripted automatic font, and I really like this one here. Okay, it reminds me of the Saab series, and I think many fans are happy to see the script fonts coming back at the 6 o'clock area on Seiko dials. It's a good job here by Seiko. And we've got a deep black dial here. Alright, it's got that eggshell finish here on the surface of the dial. Not overly shiny, not overly glossy, but it is definitely not a matte finish. The applied indices on the dial, they look really good here. You can see that the borders or the edge of the applied indices, as are the edges on the hands. Right, they are also rose gold, as is the case and the bezel. It's all rose gold plated, and I think it really looks good here. So I've just blasted the lume with my UV torch. I'm going to switch off the lights now and show you how bright the lume is. And with the lights all switched off, you can see that this is typical Seiko Lumi Bright lume. It's just fantastic. Lights up really well, and I think this one here is on par with any Seiko divers I have seen. So not an issue if you're a lume fan, so definitely won't go wrong with the 5KX series. So I've just zoomed back out a bit for for you to look at the strap that this watch comes with. Now the SRPD 76K1 comes on a rubber strap or silicone strap. So normally Seiko would just list this as rubber strap. It does look like it's leather because it's got a leather insert on top of the strap here, but the base of the strap here is still silicone. And I must say this is a really good idea because I've always felt that if you want to wear a leather strap here in the hot and sunny weather of Singapore, I think no leather straps would last if these things are worn regularly. So after a while the insides are just going to turn yucky and then start to peel off and stain really badly. So with a rubber strap like this, it sort of adds to the sportiness of the watch, and at the same time the insert actually makes the watch a little bit classier and dressier. So it's sort of a killing two birds with one stone. You get the look of leather and you get the practicality of rubber strap here. It's just fantastic. And here's a staged wrist shot of the 76K1 on my wrist. As you can see, it is not exactly a small watch. Alright, it is 42.5 millimeters K size, and it is made very manageable with that 46 millimeter lug length, and overall thickness is just pushing it. But thanks to the curve on the K sides, you can see here there's this curve here that goes inwards, and it sort of hides the thickness of the watch. So the 13.5 millimeters thickness doesn't show up very much on smaller wrists. So to sum up, I would say the SRPD 76K1 sits right in the middle of being an elegant dress watch due to the rose gold plating and that of a sports watch. So you're not really going for a full-on dress watch like this, small, very dainty, very classic look, right? So this is dress watch to me, all right? And by going for this one, you're sitting right in the middle, because the next step up would be a true blue diver like this one. Huge, gigantic watch, rugged looks, alright? And this is like a toolish kind of dive watch. So this one here sits right in the middle, and I think there is a market for watches like this. There are people who want to wear such watches, for everyday watches where they can sort of do most of their work and their chores, because it's got a good water resistance of 100 meters and the movement is robust enough, comes with a good silicone strap. So if people are looking for a watch that is versatile like this one, I would think the SRPD 76K1 is not a bad choice at all. So it's time for me and George to say goodbye. I'm going to see you next week with more watch review videos. This is the Watch Kaki. I'm from Singapore. Bye bye.